Aloha! Welcome back to the Anxiety Coaches Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Gina Ryan, and I'm so happy to be with you again today as we consider the many ways to bring your mind and body back to its natural peace and calm. In today's episode, I'm talking about holding two truths, finding peace amid anxious chaos. What I want to do today is discuss what can be done when you are put in a situation that you don't like, one that may make you angry or filled with despair, and you can't see anything good around you because of that. Some of these feelings may be brought on by attachment, and so I wanted to share with you a reading from the Daily Stoic. This is dated November 23rd, which is when this show is being produced for you. And the title of today's reading from the Daily Stoic, which is by Ryan Holiday, I will have a link to this book in the show notes. It's an excellent way for you to get little bits of Stoic wisdom on a daily basis. The title is Attachments Are the Enemy. And the quote on the top is from Epictetus, my favorite Stoic. He said, "In short, you must remember this, that if you hold anything dear outside of your own reasoned choice, you will have destroyed your capacity for choice." Again, that's Epictetus. And the explanation from Ryan Holiday is as follows. According to Anthony DeMello, there is one thing and only one thing that causes unhappiness. The name of that thing is attachment. Attachment is to an image that you have of a person, attachments to wealth and status, attachment to a certain place or time, attachments to a job or a lifestyle. All of those things are dangerous for one reason. They are outside of our reasoned choice. How long we keep them is not in our control. As Epictetus realized some 2,000 years before Anthony DeMello, our attachments are what make it so hard to accept change. Once we have them, we don't want to let go. We become slaves to maintaining the status quo. We are like the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland, running faster and faster to stay in the same place. But everything is in a constant state of change. We have certain things for a while and then lose them. The only permanent thing is prohairesis, which is our capacity for reasoned choice. The things we are attached to can come and go. Our choice is resilient and adaptable. The sooner we become aware of this, the better. The easier it will be to accept and adapt to what does happen. Thank you, Ryan Holiday, for that reading today and my ability to share it with you guys. I hope that you will check out more Stoic wisdom because it really is something that helped me way back when. And I, to this day, dip in to the Stoic philosophies. So we know that attachment, according to Epictetus and Ryan Holiday and Anthony DeMello, another great author that you may want to look into, whose books helped me in the past, the attachment is a big problem. And so are some other things. Our inability to hold on to two things at once. We so want to hold on with attachment to what we like that we think we have no space for anything else. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is that situations are going to come about where you may be at peace, but the people around you may not be, whether that's in your home or a workplace or a personal relationship. So here you were off having a great day, feeling well, and then people around you are not, and it can throw you off kilter. Many things in our lives may put us in these kind of situations, and the recent political election has done that to many people that I have been talking to. And no matter which side of the election you were on, think about it. People were thrown off kilter, either from what came about that you may have or may not have liked, or from what the people around you are having, being affected by how things are changing. So it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. People are being affected. So what do we do with that? We were having a good day. Maybe somebody around us is not, or maybe vice versa. We can learn to hold two things at once. We can come home to ourselves and not depend on the outer world of news, social media, and other people around us to dictate our happiness, our well-being, or our peace of mind. I know it sounds like a tall order, but it's not only possible, but it's healthy. It's a healthy way to help your nervous system begin to calm down. The ability to hold two opposing emotions simultaneously is often referred to as emotional duality or emotional ambivalence. It reflects the capacity to acknowledge and accept the coexistence of contradictory feelings such as love and frustration or joy and sadness without denying or invalidating either. And this is a very, very important thing to learn for emotional maturity in our lives. I have a couple of related podcasts that you may want to check out. Episode 949 and 950 are part 1 and part 2 of the importance of recognizing thinking traps for managing anxiety. And I think that they will tie in well with today's episode if you want to check those out also. The term dialectical comes from the concept of dialectics, which involves balancing two seemingly opposite ideas to find a greater truth or resolution. And in the context of therapy, that would be dialectical behavioral therapy, which is DBT. And in the therapeutic world, it would be, number one, finding balance. For example, balancing acceptance of where you are with the desire for change, and that they can both exist together. Or, number two, it would be both and thinking, recognizing that two opposing ideas can be true at the same time. For instance, I'm upset about the election results, and I can still work for change in my life. In simpler terms, dialectical is about avoiding black and white thinking and instead embracing the middle ground or integrating opposites to move you forward. Now, this approach helps you navigate life's complexities with greater flexibility and understanding. So now I'd like to get into some of the skills that you can use to help you to cope with distressing life situations while you are still maintaining hope, peace, and happiness. And I want to emphasize balancing acceptance and change. And this is really helpful when we get ourselves into challenging situations and challenging emotions. So here are some skills that you can use. The first one, and we talk about this in our group a lot in these skill sheets, distress tolerance. This is a skill that can help you to survive emotional pain without making things worse, because we all end up in emotional pain. And some of the things that can help with that are things like being able to accept reality as it is. This is radical acceptance, rather than fighting against it. Another skill would be being able to bring comfort and calm to yourself, such as listening to soothing music, lighting a favorite candle, or taking a warm bath. This is self-soothing with your senses. This can really help you to have more distress tolerance. You want to focus on physiological regulation, like holding an ice cube, putting ice in your mouth, or cold water. Have your breathing with longer and slower exhales, or use progressive muscle relaxation. Using physiological regulation can really help you to have more tolerance with the distress. We also want to be able to regulate our emotion. You can shift your emotional state by identifying when you are stuck in anger or despair and to act in the opposite emotion, such as engaging in kindness or joyful activities. Yes, you are still feeling the anger or the despair, but remember, we can hold two things at the same time, and you can shift and do some kindness or joyful activities. You can also check for facts. For example, if you feel hopeless, you can say, what evidence supports this feeling? And see if it is possible to find examples of progress or hope in other areas. You can also build positive experiences. Create small moments of joy, even in challenging times, like spending time with loved ones or engaging in favorite hobbies. The show wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about mindfulness. Being present, being mindful can help avoid getting overwhelmed by the what ifs when you are distressed. And you can observe what is going on and describe it. You can notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and you can label them as they arise. For instance, I'm noticing sadness. It's okay to feel this way. And non-attachment can be coming into play here. We want to be non-attached to the outcomes. When we practice mindfulness around the impermanence of emotions and circumstances, we can emphasize that feelings pass and change is always possible. We don't get stuck in black and white. We want to be able to express our emotions and needs constructively. And one way that we can do that is to maintain our integrity by living according to our own values, even when we are disappointed, even when we don't get what we want or what we thought we deserved. We can hold on to our own values and our self-respect, even in disappointment. We want to have value-driven actions. We want to identify our core values and find ways to align our actions with those values. This will really help us build a life worth living and take small steps for really big impact. Now, if you're ready for getting your journal out, I have some journal prompts here to help you to cultivate the ability to hold two opposing emotions at the same time. The first one is, what values are important to me and how can I live them today? The second one, what positive actions can I take within my circle of influence? The third one, what self-soothing activity will help me regain calm right now? And 4, how can I act opposite to my current emotions to cultivate peace? Because remember, you can hold both at the same time. And before I let you go, I thought I would leave you with a couple of affirmations. You can write these down. If one of them rings your bell, you can write it down in your journal and come back to it over and over. But sometimes we can't come up with these when we need them the most. So I thought I would put a few of them out there for you. I can't control everything, but I can control my response. This moment is difficult, but I am strong enough to handle it. I accept what I cannot change and focus on what I can. This is temporary. I can get through this. Small actions create meaningful change. I trust in my ability to make a difference over time. Even in darkness, I can find a spark of light. I choose hope over despair. I am safe in this moment. I release what I cannot control and find peace within. I can take one breath, one step, one moment at a time. I focus on the now and let the rest unfold. I live by my values no matter the circumstances. Kindness, compassion, and integrity guide my actions. I align my choices with what matters most to me. I am capable, resilient, and resourceful. I deserve joy even during challenging times. I am enough just as I am. I have the power to bring positivity into my life and the lives of others. And what you can do is to write your favorite affirmation on a sticky note and place it around your house or your office. And you can repeat these over and over during moments of distress or as part of a daily mindfulness practice. You can pair one of these affirmations with a soothing activity like deep breathing or a body scan or a grounding exercise. I hope that you will find one or two in there that really felt like it hit home to you and that you will use them over and over again to help remind yourself that you do have what it takes to live a peaceful, grounded, and happy, anxiety-free life. And now for today's quote. In short, you must remember this, that if you hold anything dear outside of your own reasoned choice, you will have destroyed your capacity for choice. And that's from Epictetus. I'll be back in a few more days with another podcast. Until then, be well and aloha.